Well, we're going to try it again. This is probably about the seventh time I've tried to record this. I've had some weird problems. My laptop, which used to be able to handle 3D, no longer handles 3D with the latest version of Photoshop. So it's sort of like it's taken a gigantic step backwards. Well, as you notice, we've opened up the picture of Brad Pitt, and now what I want to do is I'm going to make some Pitt wine. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up here to 3D, and we're going to get a new mesh from layer. And what we're going to do is, instead of making it from scratch, we're going to do a preset. Now if I wanted to, I could make some Pitt beer, and I just pick the soda can instead, but I'm going to go Pitt wine because it's more fun, and I also get a chance to show off some more of the capabilities. So we're going to go wine bottle, and it'll take a few seconds. Yeah, I'm going to switch to 3D workspace. You don't have to, but it's nice to give you a little bit of a perspective on it. And what's nice about that is I'm over here to make sure I have the 3D layer. Now the thing that's fascinating is if you're going to do anything with it, you want to make sure that you have the wine bottle selected, because it's really easy just to do the label or the bottle or the cap by accident. And if you notice, I've got the ability to move the bottle a little bit like this way, move it up this way. Depending on where I select on it, I can rotate the bottle a little bit like that. It's just a 3D axis that I can take it, move it along, and then this is the fun one. I can make my wine bottle a little bit bigger, or I can make it a little bit smaller, or thinner I should say, fatter. It's like a wine flask versus a wine bottle. Once again, make sure you've got the whole bottle selected, because it's way too easy to accidentally select the label, and that's what you'd be selecting Brad Pitt. Now I'm going to come over here to the bottle section, and I'm going to actually select the bottle material, and that's going to be this portion of it. I can then change the color. There we go. Or no, that's too clear in my opinion. Calm down. No, that's black wine, brick wine. I could use a black wine bottle. We could have some blue wine. We could select the color, or if I wanted to, I can bring in a new material. What's nice about that is if I have a picture of something that I want to add onto that surface, I could do it that way. Now I can change how it shines, make it shinier, reflection, roughness. I'm going to bump up the opacity just a little bit to make it a little bit darker. There we go. Now I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to accidentally, yeah, probably accidentally too. I'm going to click on the cap material, and I'm going to come up here, and we've got a really nice cap texture. It's cork. There you go. We've got a Brad Pitt wine. We've got Brad Pitt's face there. We've got a different color for the wine and cork. Now, if we wanted to, we could do another material, and we can change it, move it around. The one thing that I usually play around with just a little bit is I come up here to the light source. Notice how I clicked it on there. It's called an infinite light. It's how the lighting is going to be handled. I can move the light source over a little bit, because if you know something about 3D, obviously we don't have the ability of a 3D object popping out of the flat screen. So what we do is we create the illusion of 3D by handling different lights. Now if I want to add another light source, I could come over here and add a point light, spotlight, or an infinite light, and then there's different ways of manipulating that. And I'll let you look those up in the book because you get some kind of detail, and I don't want to go into that kind of detail for today. But what I'd also like to do is obviously we'd want to save this, and we're just going to go File, Save As, and we're going to call it Brad Wine. I'm replacing what I did earlier, and I'm going to click on OK, and then I can close it. Hi, I'm back. I've had all sorts of problems, but for some reason or another, my video card does not like Photoshop, or I think Photoshop's just being real finicky. I now have gotten it set up. I've just got a standard text layer right here, and finally the 3D text area is available, so I'm going to click on that. Honestly, I did not do anything different, so I don't know why it worked one time and doesn't the other. But what this allows me to do is to create some 3D text, and then once again I can play with the shading. Also, I can come over here and change the angle of how it's looked at. Bring it closer. Oops. Let's go like that. Change it from a different angles. Now, just like our wine bottle, we have different parts of this 3D text that you can turn on and off. And the one thing I did notice is there's some latency, which means it takes a long time for any kind of changes that you make to take effect. But you can turn one off or turn them back on, and it also, notice that when I click on here, the properties, so I can give, if I don't like that color, come on, there we go, I can change the texture to red like that. But since that's the back, I want to do front, I will click right here. Come on. Finally. There we go. Or something like that. Now, one of the problems with this 3D view, and I can go in here and turn off the extras. There, I can get a better feel for what it's going to look like. I kind of like the pit wine right now because it's red and it's got some of the blue in there. And all I did was choose which side that I want, like the front bevel, how it bevels, the extrusion, which is this portion right here. I can change the material if I wanted to. It's really kind of handy. If I want to add a different light source, I can add another light source. And if I actually wanted to do a 3D print of this, which I've never tried, but it'd be kind of interesting if we could. And then if I wanted to add another object, that's how I can manipulate that. So hopefully this sound will work on this one. Like I said, I've had all sorts of problems. This has been a fascinating experience. Normally I go into a lot more detail, but I'm flustered right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go File, Save. It's going to be as a PSD, and I'm going to call it Wine Dash Label. Save it. And there, I can save it out as a PSD. Well, that's what I just did. Then I can save it out as a JPEG. So we'll do one more assignment and then you're pretty much done with the semester.